If you are going overseas to study abroad in 2025, this video is important because in this video, I'm going to be telling about what kind of university admits are coming in this year, 2025, the golden year, of course, and what's been happening in the last 5 years and what's the reality, the ground reality of education counselors and what they're doing to your profiles in India. तो भाई अगर सुनना है तो हिम्मत रखना क्योंकि ये अच्छा नहीं लगेगा सुन करके काफ़ी सारे लोगों को बट ये रियलिटी है तो स्टार्ट करते हैं. Let's get started. Take a look at my screen. I just want to show you a couple of admits because this is a very important page. If you are studying overseas and let's say you're targeting US, UK, doesn't matter which country essentially to study overseas, you can come over here, you can input your profile and you can say, okay, I want to look at people who have gotten funding. I want to look at people who have gotten only admits. So we'll look at all of that. But before we do, let's just look at the raw data and we see, okay, one person over here getting into Northeastern University in IT, 9.79 was their CGPA, which is pretty good, right? Then let's look a little bit down over here. These applied ones we're not going to focus on because the decision is not yet out. Then this guy 7.1 going into DePaul University, 7.1 going into Illinois Institute of Technology, 7.1 going into Kent State. Listen to these university names. These universities are all tied up universities. In fact, just take a look at this. Let me just Google one of these university names randomly, and you see the acceptance rate is 70%. Do you know what that means? That means 7 out of 10 people applying to DePaul University are getting in. Only 3 are not getting in, which is a massive number, by the way. Let me actually take a look at another one over here, Illinois Institute of Technology. Let me search for that one as well. And that one doesn't even show its acceptance rate. That's god awful. Let's do Kent State University. Okay, no problem. Let's try this one. 88% acceptance rate. 9 people out of 10 applying are getting accepted. Can you imagine that? These universities are given to you by your counselors. You don't know any better, so you go to them and they apply, and that happens. That these people are also looking into fall 25. But let's look at 7.1, right? Some of you might say this guy has a low CGPA. You know that's why he's not getting a good university. But hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let's go down a little bit. Yeah. Take a look at this one. Ronak Ahmed, 6.4, and he gets into NYU, has a $6,000 funding, and it's a computer science degree. Harder to get into this degree than information systems management, by the way. And you might say, okay, Ronak has applied for an undergraduate degree. This guy applied for a graduate degree. But let's take a look at other examples over here. Let's see. Okay, so we have people getting into UMass Boston, decent university with 8.8 GPA. That's fine. We have people getting into University of Colorado Boulder again with 8.8. That's also good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll a bit down. And what you will find over here is that there are people. Let me just show you an example. Take a look at this one. Ram Reddy, 6.9 GPA. And he makes it to SUNY Buffalo for data science. And SUNY Buffalo may not be the best university in the world, ranked 254 in the world, but in the US, it's still in the top 50. This guy is getting in with a lower GPA, graduate admissions, okay scores on the GRE and IELTS, yet he's able to make it over there. So you can see, really, he's able to make it to Northeastern University, which is, again, one of the very best universities in the US if you look at them. A low CGPA again, decent GRE score, and decent IELTS score. So while counselors will push you towards all those kinds of universities that just aren't worth your time. I mean, if you look at Northeastern University, let me just take an example of this one, right? So he got into this data and analytics and engineering program, not that one. Let me just search for this one. And if I see the acceptance rate, you see it's only 7%. That means hardly 1 out of 10 people, maybe even 1 out of 20 people are getting into Northeastern University. That's how competitive it is. And if that can be achieved with a low GPA, I don't think GPA is an argument at all that you should go or settle for a bad university. That's important advice. Now, remember that. Now, let's take a look at some other admissions and just make sure that you don't fall into this trap of admissions counselor who are sending you towards these same 5-10 universities that get them the commission. It's not worth it. At the cost of your future, I personally can never justify that. But let's take a look at some other admits. Let's see how the admissions went overall. So let's focus on maybe only admits this time instead of looking at rejections also. And let's see what kind of admits are coming out for at least people who have not applied to universities which are tied up. And you see people with 6.4 have been able to make it to NYU. And then there's other profiles. ASU, which is not bad, but this guy is making it to Stony Brook University with an 8.8, which is again quite a decent program. Then we have Virginia Tech, 9.039 CGPA should be able to make it to Virginia Tech, but no GRE score, only a decent TOEFL score. By the way, if you want to talk to Somak or many other people on the platform, you can just use message button, or you can visit their profile, take a look at their bachelor's profile in depth, the target university, their TOEFL score, and maybe even their resume if they have uploaded one. And always you can message them, and of course you can start a communication with Somak. You can understand more about his profile and what kind of admits he was able to get. This is a free platform. You guys can do this for absolutely free. Now, next one. You see people with 95.6% going to Dayton, University of Dayton. This university is again a tied up university. You don't need to go for this kind of a university that has again a 74% acceptance rate. It's not worth it. When you have a 95%, it just doesn't make sense to go into universities like Stevens, Dayton. You know, you could do better than Worcester Polytechnic Institute, right? You could make it some of the best ones. Northeastern, okay, still decent. That's decent, but you could even go for better ones with that kind of a CGPA. Anyway, then we have Princeton University with a 9.9. I personally find Princeton as a little bit like a Hogwarts campus. It's so amazing, so beautiful. But there's that Princeton University. There's one from, let's see, Columbia Ivy League school with 8.66, showing you that you don't always need a 9 or above for Columbia. There's, let's see, a couple more over here. New York University, 9.1. That's decent. Um, Although 9.1 can get usually better. And, let's not be CGPA centric, but that's how universities operate in many cases. CGPA is more important than your TOEFL score, GRE score in many cases. 9.1, University of Southern California for Rohit Reddy. That's an amazing admit. We have um, University of Melbourne at 93%, one of the, again, topmost universities in the whole wide world. We have University of California, Davis with 8.5. So long to the people who thought that it's not possible to get into University of California system with anything under 9. Well, this is proof that you can, and you can talk to Sumit. You can ask him more about his profile. That's possible, right? And then again, we see some people who have applied to tied up universities like George Mason University, not worth it. This one, Case Western Reserve, is not bad because this kind of applied for a PhD. PhD is, a separate story altogether. We have UIUC, one of the top 10 universities in the US if you look at it, with just a 3.6 GPA, right? We have Harvard, but I don't know if I trust this one, so I'm going to leave that out. We have all kinds of other admits, but you can see that universities have given out admits this time quite liberally. Even the topmost universities have focused less on GPA and more on a holistic overview of the profile, which is what you want, right? And unfortunately, not everyone understands that. Not every student understands that, and they sometimes walk into the trap of these counselors. So save yourselves. Make sure you sign up on YMGrad.com because we'll let you know exactly what kind of universities your profile can make it to. And you can shoot me a message on the platform. My chat box is right over there. Thank you so much for watching this one. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on WhatsApp. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more such content. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care until next time.